Find a comfortable stance so you can stand equally in your feet. And just kind of rock from side to side for a moment. Take an inhale in and side out. Allow your eyes to close. And then just start to come to equal standing on both feet. Allow yourself to stand up a little bit taller, lengthen the spine as if someone's lifting the top of your head to the ceiling, and then pressing your feet down into the floor. Just allow yourself to come into the room, onto your mat, and into your body. Take a full inhale here. Side out. Start to tap into the sensations in the body and mind. Start to drop more into the present. We're going to start dropping into the present with a little bit of Taoist breath. With the Taoist breath, we're going to use from standing so we can get really fully into our body. And then we'll slowly make our way toward the floor, finding more stillness as we go. Setting an intention for your practice to be here and to be present. Taking another inhale here. And side out. And then adding in some movement here. As you inhale, take the arms forward enough. As you exhale, bend the elbows, press the palms away from you. As you inhale, draw those fingertips toward your shoulders. And as you exhale, press the palms away as you round the spine. Inhale, takes those arms all the way back up. Exhale, presses the arms away. Inhale, fingertips to shoulders. Exhale, round the spine as you push the hands away. Inhale, takes the arms all the way back up. Exhale, press the palms away. Inhale, fingers to shoulders. Exhale, round the spine as you press the palms away. Inhale, brings the arms up. Exhale, palms away. Inhale, fingers to shoulders. Exhale, round the spine, push the arms forward. 2 more times. Inhale, reaches you up. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, hands to shoulders. Exhale, press it away. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, hands to shoulders. Exhale, press away around the spine. Inhale, reaches you all the way up. And then as you exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend those knees, just let yourself hang. Hands can rest on blocks or on the floor. Let yourself rock from side to side. Let your head go. Give a little nod, yes. A little shake, no. Nice full inhale here. And sigh it out. Slowly as you inhale, start to make your way down into our ankle toe stretch. So toes are going to be tucked to begin. Sitting back on those heels or on a block if you need a little less stress. And then start to settle into that sensation. Checking in. Noticing what you need here. Adjusting as you need. Halfway through. So as we start to do less movement and find more stillness, remember that you're just going to that place where it's an uncomfortable sensation. It's not pain, but it will be uncomfortable. Anytime there's pain, that means you're gone too far. You don't want to go too far. You want to be able to manage that and come back from that, so that you're able to sit with stillness without that fidgeting, without that moving, without that sensation of pain. And then pointing those toes back, sitting back on your heels. And again, you can pause here. Or if you're feeling a little bit more comfortable in those ankles, drawing the knees up. Just really start to focus on those sensations that are happening in the body. We're targeting the ankles here now. See if you can just find a nice, easy rhythm with your breath. No need to really manage it so much, but just see if you can find some steadiness in your breath. Apologize now if you fall at any point and you can no longer see me because I have cats playing. And they're dangerously close to eye. And slowly start to switch yourself around, tucking those toes again. Make sure all 5 toes point to the front. You might have to physically move them there. And if it's comfortable for you, maybe start to close the eyes, going inward a little bit more. Starting to find these brief moments of stillness in the body. Maybe a couple brief moments of stillness at the mind. And then switching back to pointing those toes. And either sitting on those heels or maybe leaning back in a little bit more into the ankle joint. And again, remember this is your practice. I'm just kind of guiding you along. Do what's going to feel best in your body. No woulds, coulds, or shoulds today. My yin yoga teacher used to always say, if you're feeling it, you're doing it. And then slowly transitioning back to tucking those toes. Last round here. And then pointing those toes again. Last minute here. thinking the new setup is to midnight sleeping. This is the first time they've joined me in my new space. And slowly transitioning, bring those heels to one side and allow yourself to sit. Taking those legs either out in front of you or to the side of you. Wiggling those toes a little bit. Just kind of notice the sensations in the front of the ankle. And any motions that feel natural to you, pointing, flexing, ankle circles, whatever's going to feel best. And then from here, we're going to go into the pose long-legged butterfly. So again, if you need extra support for your knees, you always have your blocks you can slide under there. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. And instead of bringing them really, really close, you're going to take them out a little bit further. So they're out a little bit further. And again, if there's too much pressure on those knees on the outside, you'll just take that block and take it sideways and just kind of slide it in and then let yourself be supported so your knee doesn't take all of that pressure. We want to target the hips and the spine here. So you want to try and roll yourself forward and then bring those arms forward. Maybe your head comes forward. Maybe your head rests on a block, a blanket, a bolster, whatever you need. Maybe it's a couple fists, but try to let your head rest on something at least for the first 2 minutes that we're here. So take this first minute to kind of get comfortable, let yourself settle in, but let your head be supported, especially the top of like the middle of your forehead right there. There's a couple meridian lines that run through there, and have yourself be supported for these first couple minutes. Again, you're just finding your edge. You're going to target the hips, the spine. You're going to find that sensation, a place where you can settle in for stillness. As the sensations dissipate, and if you've done this practice a while, you might notice the sensation, that edge, it dissipates a little more quickly as your body gets used to these poses. You can start to lengthen yourself out, finding a new edge. So it's been about 2 minutes, and if you're feeling like you really like that grounding sensation of keeping your head supported, keep it supported. Otherwise, you can start to just let your head dangle, draw your chin toward your chest, so you're really targeting the whole spine. But that might be a little too much if you're having some neck or shoulder issues, like upper shoulder issues. So you might want to keep that supported, so you can keep the target then in the hips and the low back. Start to settle in here, find your breath. And for this next minute, let's see if you can just deepen your breath and notice the sensations with a little deeper inhale, a little longer exhale. Just notice how that feels in the body. Allowing your breathing to come back to normal. You have about 1 more minute here. Taking a full inhale here. Let it go. Very slowly start to bring yourself up. Nice and slow, moving mindfully and with intention, no rush. And just help those knees up. And pause with them just bent, rounding forward over those knees. Giving some support to that outer hip that we just targeted. Some support to that low back. And then doing any motions that are going to feel like you need to do them, rocking a little bit from side to side. Anything that's going to feel good. Maybe even leaning back into those hands to open the heart for a moment, open the chest. And then from here, we're going to come into half butterfly. So we're going to take our right leg extended out, draw that left leg in to where it's comfortable. If you're comfortable, you can stay here with this pose. Some people feel okay to bring this other leg back. It's going to target the knee a little bit more, so be careful that that knee is supported. You might, if you bring this leg back, you might need to sit up on something to give a little less flexion of this knee, that compression in the knee. I don't like sitting like this, but some people, it's a good target for them. So I'm going to stay here. And then from here, making sure you're targeting the hips again, right? You're going to feel a little bit in this left knee, but then you're going to start to lengthen forward. So again, you can rest your elbows on blocks, on blankets, on a bolster, whatever is going to feel best. You're just starting to bring yourself forward. If you feel it more on your inner thigh of the extended leg, you can bend your knee for a moment just to get into that hip. So it's getting deep into that right hip. And allow yourself to pause there. Then as that sensation dissipates, you can start to lengthen the leg out. So taking this first minute, just kind of settle in here. Again, see if you can let go of any muscle energy here. This one you feel like I do at least, feel like I want to engage my legs. So I have to remind myself to relax them. Sometimes it even helps to touch them and tell them to relax. So starting to settle into that stillness. And your body will tell you when you've gone too far. You'll start to feel muscle tension. You'll start to maybe even notice you're gripping in your jaw, clenching your teeth. So keep in that area just a little bit in your mind, relaxing the jaw, letting the tongue be heavy. All of the poses that we're doing today really assist with de-stressing the body, trying to help reduce anxiety. They're targeting those meridian lines in the body to help combat that. Again, if you're feeling it, you're doing it. You don't need to really know any more. It's just happening in the body. And for the next minute, see if you can deepen your breath and just kind of notice what happens there with the effects of the body. Allow your breathing to come back to normal. Taking a full inhale here. Let it go. From our favorite jumps. Slowly start to make your way up. Helping that right knee with your hand, drawing that leg in, draw both knees up, and just pause for a moment there. Just notice the effects of that pose on the body. And then as you're ready, start to transition to the other side. Taking that left leg out, drawing the right knee in, maybe that right foot back behind you. Just kind of settle in, just kind of notice where you are. Maybe you need to bend that left leg to begin, start to lengthen forward. Be mindful if you need more props for this hip or you need to pull or this knee, you can lift the knee, you can draw the foot away. Just making sure that it's not painful. You're feeling sensation, but not pain. Let's just start to settle in. Let go of any muscle engagement. Just kind of notice the differences between this side and the other side. Again, without judgment, no woulds, coulds, or shoulds. Just notice, creating that body awareness, that body-mind connection. And then start to settle into some stillness. And allowing yourself to drop in a little bit more into your body. Inviting whatever distractions might bubble up to be part of the experience today. You can let go of them, and bring yourself back to those sensations in the body. Letting go of any attachments, any thoughts, any emotions that take you away from the present moment. For the next minute, deepen and lengthen your breath, just noticing those sensations that happen in the body as you do. And allowing your breathing to come back to normal. One more minute here, settling into those sensations. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly start to bring yourself up. And mindfully draw that extended leg in. Draw the bent knee up. Just pause there for a moment. And taking some time, maybe lean back into the hands, roll the shoulders back. Maybe take those legs out in front of you and rock the feet from side to side. And then taking ourselves into dragonfly pose, which is our legs are going to be wide. So that's where you have the option of the wall. You can go against the wall there and take the feet wide on the wall, and then you're not going to be able to fold forward as much, but you're definitely going to find a lot more in the outer hip with your legs against the wall. Or you can just stay right where you are and take those legs wide. And then again, you're targeting those hips, right? So you want to be able to get into the hips, maybe start with a little bent knee, maybe place even a block underneath your thighs to begin, just so you can really target those hips rather than that hamstring attachments right there in those sit bones. And then start to roll yourself forward. And again, this is okay to round the spine, relax the legs, give them a little shake left and right. And allow yourself to drop in. If you're using the wall, obviously you're not gonna be able to shake those legs really, but try to let the legs relax. Try to let the toes extend out if possible. And then when you rest against the wall, resting your forehead against the wall. It's definitely going to be a little different sensation. You're going to definitely target the outer hips if you're using the wall. If you're staying on the floor away from the wall, you're definitely going to target more of that inner hip, that flexion part, deepen the hip, the low back. And then maybe up the spine, depending on where your head ends up resting. So again, you can rest your head on a prop. You can rest it in your hands. If you have a little bit more range of motion, maybe you're resting it on the floor. Start to find that stillness. We've reached the 1 minute mark. So these first few poses that we've done, they've been more forward folding. So that helps us go inside, it helps us quiet the mind. It's taking our eyes down so we can go inside and not be distracted by a lot of external stimuli. We're also compressing all the meridians on the front side of the body as we're expanding and lengthening the meridians on the back side of the body. Then as we start to transition a little bit more toward the floor, we'll do the opposite of that. So for the next minute here, start to lengthen and deepen your breath. Notice those sensations in the body as you do it. Allow your breathing to return to normal. About another minute here at this pose. So take a full inhale here. And let it go. Mindfully and slowly start to bring yourself up. If you're against the wall, slowly back away from the wall. No rush. Once you're upright, just pause for a moment, maybe help those knees up and in, and rounding forward again in that little tuck position. Just noticing the rebound effect on the body of that pose. And slowly bring yourself up. Start to bring any movement you need to into the body before we transition to the floor. We're going to transition to the floor in a little bit of a supported bridge for a few moments. It's going to give us a little bit more extension, some lengthening of the front body, and a little bit of compression of the back body. So as you transition toward the floor, I usually like to put my block on the medium height. If you don't have a block, you can use a blanket and a pillow, but propping it up a little bit higher than you probably normally would. And so if it's too high, you can pull out layers. So I usually like to have something a little soft on top of my block because it helps. And then I'm going to roll myself down onto my back. I'm going to lift my hips, slide that block underneath my hips. So it's a little bit closer toward my sit bones than up toward my spine. So a little bit further away, so I'm feeling a little bit more support. So it's still on the sacrum, that little hard bony part behind you. A little bit more toward the sit bones. And then you might feel comfortable here. You're staying here. This feels good through the body. Just kind of settle in this first minute. Your arms can be by your side. They can be out to the side. They can even be up overhead if that feels okay for you. And just take the head and rock it a little bit from side to side, kind of neutral position. And then you have the option to stay here with your legs bent, or you can start to straighten the legs. So taking the legs out wide and straight, that's going to put a little bit more compression into the low back. So be mindful if that's too much. Lower the block, bend the knees. But there is going to be some stress on the back body here. So right there toward the back of the spine. So if you have any SI joints or low back issues, you might want to stay with your knees bent here and just enjoy that pose. And just start to settle into some stillness. Notice if you're holding any tension in the glutes, so you're contracting those glutes, maybe you can contract them for a moment, your booty, and then let it go. Relax the leg muscles. Allow yourself to target those deeper tissues, the ligaments, tendons, the fascia that wraps around our muscles. And targeting that, bringing some nourishment into that, as well as targeting those meridian lines in a little different way. So the ones on the back side of our body are now being compressed. The ones on the front side of our body are being lengthened. And start to settle into some stillness here. Maybe start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Allow your breathing to come back to normal. If your legs are straight, slowly start to bend them again. Just pause there. If your hips are up on a block on a level that's higher than the lowest, slide that down just to the lowest level. Pause there. Just bringing those hips down slowly. And then slowly bring yourself off that block. Just pause there with your knees bent, maybe hands on your belly, take a few deep breaths, just notice those sensations. And then we'll just come into a very simple twist. Take your feet, bring them a little bit more closer together, and drop both knees over to the right. Just let your legs drop down to wherever they will. Maybe you need a little bit of support under that top knee. Maybe you're fine just there. Let that left arm extend out. We'll be here a brief moment, about a minute or so. Maybe allow your breath to deepen a little. And then slowly on your next inhale, start to bring those knees back up one at a time. Bring the hips to center. If they're off-centered, pause there for a moment. And then as you're ready, taking those knees, dropping them over to the left, letting that right arm extend out. Maybe start to deepen your breath. And on your next inhale, start to draw those knees back up. Pause there for a moment. And maybe start to draw those knees in. Maybe rock from side to side, maybe rocking up and down on the spine, whatever's going to feel good to you. And then you have a couple options for our final position for today. You can, I'm going to lead through a supported reclined Baddha Konasana, or you have the option of legs up the wall. If you like legs up the wall, go for that. I'll go through that next week. I'll detail that next week if you've never done that before, but today we'll do a little Baddha Konasana. So go ahead and push yourself up to seated. You have a couple options with how supported you want to be. We want a lot of support. We want to feel less sensation in this and more support. We're going to really get into that decompressed zone. So one option is have a blanket and have it be nice and long so it covers your entire spine and even your head, and make a nice little roll with that. So that's one option. And then you would lay that on that. Your head would even be on it. And you might even want to have an extra pillow for your head, but your whole spine. So all the way from your sacrum down to your head would be on that roll. Second option, if you want to feel a little bit more lift and support, take your couch cushions like I've done. And you'll take those couch cushions and kind of make them into a little bit of a reclined position here. So you're then going to recline back on this. You might need a little bit of extra support, maybe your block back there and a pillow for your head. I usually like something underneath my hips so that I have that comfort. And then I usually like to have my legs supported, so I either put pillows underneath so that my legs have zero stress, right? So I'm going to slow down a little bit and wait for you to get in your position. So this way it's going to be a little bit more supportive. So as you lay back, your head wants to be supported, maybe even cover your eyes. You definitely want your knees supported, so you want no stress on that inner thigh. You want those knees to be supported, so either with blocks. I usually like the blocks. I put them kind of at an angle so that that corner is not cutting into my leg. And then you have your blankets. Maybe you can put all across the top of you to get nice and comfy. Grab my other block. So you're just gonna snuggle in, get nice and comfortable so that you feel supported. So basically in this position, you want to feel the sensations equally in your body. You want to not really have anything stand out so much. Taking something, maybe place it under your neck so your cervical spine is supported. Basically anywhere that there's space, you kind of want to fill that space so it's almost like you're filling it in to lift you up to feel that support. And then once you've kind of settled in, getting yourself nice and comfortable, take a nice full inhale and sigh it out the mouth, let it go. You feel like you need a couple more of those going into that. Take a few more rounds of breath as you need. Just really let yourself feel supported. Maybe for the next 10 to 15 breaths, take them in a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. Let them out nice and slow. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly. Allowing yourself to drop a little bit more into the body. Feeling the support. Feeling no stress, no tension on any part of the body. Allowing yourself to surrender into stillness and into silence. I'll bring us out of this restorative position with 3 bells. Take rest. Allow your next breath to come in a little deeper. On your next breath, using your hands, helping your legs come back up to center, bending those knees. And on your next breath, give yourself a long stretch with your arms, reach them back behind your head. If you're all the way on the ground, maybe roll yourself over to one side before sitting up. If you're propped up on your cushions, slide your hands by your side, and then use your hands, draw your chin toward your chest, and slowly press yourself up. Just come up slowly, no need to rush. Just pause there, crossing your legs, sitting in a comfortable position. And just check in. Notice the sensations. Notice where you are mentally and physically. Acknowledge those shifts that have happened in the practice today. And bring your hands to your heart center or cupping your heart. Pausing there for a moment, giving thanks for this practice, thanks for this time that you gave yourself to rest and restore. Always knowing that the energy of this practice is there. Just remember to use it and use it through your breath. We'll seal the practice in with a sigh of a breath or one home, your choice. Exhale fully here. Inhale. Bowing your head slightly. Take a moment, think of one thing in your life that you truly are grateful for. Holding on to that image in your mind's eye as you raise your head and smile. Thank you for being here. Namaste.